Welcome to what I'm calling Coffee with Melissa. I decided that these 30-second shorts that are designed to get attention and to hopefully impart ideas for people just aren't really resonating with me. Maybe because I'm 60, maybe because, I feel like we're at a point with social media that is all about grabbing attention, but not imparting wisdom. At 60 years old, I'm a writer, I'm a business owner, I do a lot of things. I've learned a lot, and I want to share that wisdom. I think it's what's missing in a lot of cases today. I tried to use social media the way everyone told me I had to use it for my platform, Younger Body and Mind. And, a marketing company, and they told me, it's all about these 30-second shorts and all of this kind of stuff, and we've done it over and over again. But it didn't allow me to share what I believe is important. I believe we're here to help each other, to lift each other up, to impart the wisdom that we've learned along our journey. And that's what I want to do. So I figured I'm going to do a few longer segments and let's see how they resonate. I'm not trying to get followers. I'm trying to share with the people I believe, I'm meant to help in life. If you follow me at all, I believe three things. I believe we're here for three important things in life. After 60 years, I'm thankful to understand this. I believe, number one, we have to say yes to God. We have to understand that we're here for a purpose that's predestined and predetermined. You had a creator who called you to life. I don't believe anything about this moment in time is random. So that's what I believe is number one. Number two, I believe you've been given gifts and talents and abilities that are uniquely yours. And number three, I believe we're here to take all of those gifts and use them in service with love. I believe those are the three things we're here in our lifetime to do. It's the reason I get on and speak and have done podcasts and different videos and YouTube channels to try to share those lessons. I've written many books, several books. My latest book is getting a lot of attention, and I think this is the one that I'm going to share the most. But everything I talk about, everything I've written, everything I do is based on those three things that I believe, that I wish someone had shared with me, that I wish I understood that life exists for a purpose, that it wasn't random, that there are things I was meant to do. There's things that you're meant to do. Have you ever thought about it that way? That's how I raised my three children, by the way, and I am just blown away by how their lives are unfolding. And because of what I've done with my children, and hey, I've made a million mistakes. Don't think, I'm not one of those people who's going to claim to be perfect or anything like that. But what I want to share is what I've learned and the mistakes I've made, and what I spent 15 years studying God's Word. I've read the Course in Miracles. I've studied, famous people. I've always looked for, what is the meaning of life? Do you ever think about that? What are you here for? What am I here for? What are we all here for? And that's when I found my 3 steps. That was my first book I wrote, was about those 3 steps, understanding, what the world expects from us versus what God expects from us. Have you thought about that? The worldly system, I've said this over and over again, has always done more to limit most than it has ever done to lift most. God is the opposite. So I want to just give a quick introduction to my book. I'm going to be sharing lessons from this book, in other sessions, because I really think this one's really hitting home, and I am humbled to say I'm getting such feedback, such good feedback and reviews about this book. And I'm not trying to push the book. Listen to my videos. I'm going to share all the ideas in it. You don't need to go buy my book. If you want to, it's out there on Amazon. But I think this is important. So it's Reinvent Yourself After 50. I'm going to be 61 this year. People have asked me, someone who interviewed me asked me, why didn't you call it Reinvent Yourself After 60? Because these are 10 years of lessons. These lessons are what I wish I had known when I was walking through this, midlife crisis, so to speak. I realized it didn't have to be a crisis. I realized it could be a midlife awakening, and that's what I call out in this book. But I wish someone had taught me that, because I didn't know. No one told me that it could be an awakening instead of a crisis. No one told me that I didn't have to accept, what the world says is decline as we age. So I challenged all that in this book, and I'm blown away by the responses of what women are telling me, that how much this is helping. I've done, book clubs. This is my 1.5-year-old Newfoundland, Stella. You see her posted on my site a lot. she's just going to get in the way, and hopefully not knock my tripod over. No, Stella, sorry. But anyway, I'm going to share a lot about this because I think this is really important. I wrote this book because, you know, it's funny. What a quick lesson, a quick story, and then I'm going to let you go. But I was testing for my black sash in Kung Fu after 7 years of study. So it was something I was really proud of. And I was 53 years old. I got it right before I turned 54. And someone said to me, "Why are you doing this at your age?" It was in that moment that I realized the difference between what I felt inside, what I knew about myself, and how the world saw me. The world was seeing my age, and I was living the life I believed I was called to live. Have you ever felt that way? You know, when you get to my age, you know, I don't know how old you are, but you get up here in their 60s, and the world has a lot to say about what we are meant to do, what we can do, what we can't do. I don't buy into any of that. That's where Younger Body and Mind came from, but that's just one vehicle that I want to share with you. On that platform, I share movement. You know, I've spent 10 years studying, 14 years now studying Kung Fu and Tai Chi. I'm really proud of that. I have my black belt in Kung Fu since 2019. Last year, so proud to have become a disciple in the Chen style of Tai Chi, 13th generation disciple, which is a big deal for us. It means I inherited the art, which is such a responsibility. So I teach that on the platform. I pulled out movements on that from Tai Chi and Kung Fu, and as well as strength training, because hey, at 60 years old, you need to be lifting weights, you need to be moving heavy things. So I combine those different movements. But I have so much more to offer as a writer, as an entrepreneur. I want to share everything I've learned in life with you in every way I can. So books, you know, this is going to be a 3-book series. This is Reinvent Yourself After 50. I'm in the middle of writing Reinvent Your Marriage After 50. And then the 3rd book is Reinvent Parenting After 50, because parenting adults is a much different look than when they were kids. So that's what I'm here for. I believe that's my purpose in life. What's yours? I want to help guide you. One of my favorite things that I love to do most is encourage people. I want to share with people, help them find what they're here for, their purpose, so that they can live their best version of life, regardless of age. So I hope you'll join me. This was a little longer than I expected, but this is the first Coffee with Melissa. I hope it added value for you, and I hope you'll join me next time. This is going to be a weekly video series that I'm going to start. So this is day 1. Enjoy your coffee.